And we are live. What's up, guys? Are we coming through loud and clear? Let me know in the comments before I get started. Because if I'm not coming through loud and clear, then there's fucking no point whatsoever. So let me know, guys. Sounds good. Okay. It sounds good. All is good. All is good. Okay. Yeah, same setup as last week, which is a far better setup than the setup I've got in the living room. Once again, my son is working a night shift, so straight to his room for a live stream. Nice little fucking Blue Yeti microphone on hand. Nice. It's the echo is restrained in this room as well. It's just so much. There's so much echo downstairs with a wooden floor. See what's on the chat. Bunny's in the chat, obviously. Bunny's always in the chat. Legend. Chris is in the chat as well, as always. What's up, Chris? Great stream last night. Great stream the other night, I should say. Chris. Looking forward to the John Carpenter stream as well. And the 1998 stream we got going, which I've yet to schedule. If I look a little bit spaced out, I'm not trying to be spaced out. I'm just like, yeah, this is a little bit of a drunk stream. I'm not gonna lie. There's been a few alcoholic beverages consumed tonight. So go easy on me if I just like lose, if I just veer off on a topic or something. But yeah, Anthony's in the chat. What's up, Anthony? What's up, man? Yeah, so we've got Bunny on, we've got Big T, we've got Anthony, we've got Chris, we've got Big T, which I've just said. Sorry, Big T. We've got DJ, and I'm sure a few more. But there's 7 people in the chat. I'm sure a few more people will jump along on the way. Yeah, I'm just fucking love me a good drunk stream. Yeah, it's not like legendary drunk stream. It's just like slightly merry drunk stream. I'm not like completely fucking hammered. I'm just like slightly merry because I don't usually stream on a Monday night. Usually it's very much these streams go on a Tuesday night where I'm, maybe I've had a few drinks on a Tuesday, but Lorne's in the chat as well. Lorne, hello. I don't know if Lorne's drunk as well and he's just misspelled hello. Well, it's probably Lorne just being Lorne. Lorne's just being Lorne. Hello, Lorne. Yeah, so yeah, usually it's a Tuesday night stream. Usually, okay, I'm usually 3/4 sober on a Tuesday night. Monday night is a rarity for me. So I'm just kind of like maybe a little slightly past 3/4 sober or 3/4 drunk. Brian Trash is in the chat. Howdy, what's up, man? Lorne straight edge. I know Lorne is straight edge. Lorne does not drink at all. I wish I could be straight edge. I sincerely do wish I could be straight edge. Unfortunately, I'm English. I'm part Irish, so and I'm also like Welsh as well. Like I'm very much Welsh, so not drinking is not really an option for people like me because we just it's not an option. Part Irish, part English, part Welsh. It's you're just gonna drink. End of. There's no alternatives. You just drink. So let me. Yeah, I think I'm up to date with the chat. Okay, I did have like a random. It's not really a random stream. I did like have topics to discuss. In terms of like, I did want to discuss a couple of, in terms of one movie I wanted to discuss, which is Orphan First Kill. So I'm gonna discuss that film now. I really liked Orphan First Kill. I thought this was a fun fucking movie. I thought this was so much fun. This is remind me of like Malignant in terms of like this is just like a stupid, dumb, fun horror film that like doesn't take itself seriously in any way. Just I just love the character of Esther. Name escaped me for a minute. I just think she's, I barely remember the original movie from like 2009. I can barely remember a thing about that film. Um, I'm sure it was. I remember it being a half decent film. It kind of came along at that sort of time of like those like late 2000s, like mid 2000s, early noughties, like evil kid movies. I think Robert De Niro did a movie with like an evil kid, dangerous kid, fucked up kid sort of shtick thing. At the same time, I can't remember the name of that film, but yeah, this. I mean, I really, really enjoyed this film. This is just a film that is just like it's just utterly stupid in a good way. It's got a great soundtrack. Throws a bit of Interpol in there with Evil, which is obviously a nod to either Esther or Julia Stiles' character, who's way more evil than Esther. Yeah, I just really like the setup of the film. We need more light-hearted, you know, sequels or prequels to like semi-serious movies from the 2000s because this is like this was just a thoroughly enjoyable film. You know, it doesn't take itself seriously. It's got a really enjoyable like evil lead, but she's clearly not as evil as what. Well, she's evil. Let's look at things. She is evil. She's a fucking psychopathic killer. But she's clearly in love with Alan in the film. The father. She's got like a human side to it. Which we kind of like. We see that. Fairly early on in the film. And when the film just does this complete 180 with obviously her mother, Julia Stiles, that's where it just becomes a far more interesting film. And you get like this character who was semi-sympathetic up to a point. I was feeling sympathy for this character before the reveal. And like when you get the full reveal of like who Julia Stiles, well, not who she is, but the type of person she is, you just go full on like sympathetic for like the orphan. What was her name again? I've forgotten. Hey, whoever she is, I've forgotten. But it's just like it does a good job of like completely like subverting my expectations of a movie. So there's me thinking, oh, I like this character. I think she's a fun character. She's a complete fucking psycho and she's a fucking cold-hearted bitch. But then all of a sudden she starts becoming this more likable cold-hearted bitch to the point where, well, she's a less cold-hearted bitch than the fucking cold-hearted bitch who's trying to kill her, Julia Stiles. And by the point at the end of the movie, you're just fucking rooting for her. You just want this cold-hearted bitch who's less cold-hearted bitch than the other cold-hearted bitch. You just want this cold-hearted bitch to win, you know, to win out in the end, and obviously she does. And obviously it is a prequel to like the following film. But I've not seen the original film for a long time, and I worry that if I rewatch the film now, it's going to look slightly odd with what I've seen in this film because it's been so long since I've seen that film. I'm just wondering whether her character is really gonna is she gonna look a bit out of place now because I've got used to this new version of her, and looking back, well, looking back, I'm not entirely sure, but I don't remember the character in the original film. I know she was playing a child who was an adult, but was a child. Whether it's going to look a bit odd, comparing the characters now. But I mean, I had a fucking great time with that film. Few more points to add on that film. Yeah, Isabel Furman's transformation. You know, the transformation, like the fact that she was like in the original film, she was a kid played by an adult, playing a kid, but was really an adult. And in this film, she is an adult playing a kid who is really an adult, played by an adult. Yeah, this is kind of like they them levels of like, expectations of like I'm not quite sure what the hell's going on. Yeah, so yeah, it's one of them. It's like, what the hell. It's also, this film it's a case like, who are the real monsters in this film? It's clearly, even though she's evil as fuck, clearly, Julie Stiles is like her son, a psychopathic son. They are the true monsters in this film. It's they set the film up so well, like to just hate them. And there's something about before the film starts, but before the big reveal halfway through, I knew you watching the film thinking, what is it with Julia Stiles' character and her as a the orphan character who's I've forgotten her name again. I apologize, but it all felt a bit cold and a little bit like thinking, hang on a minute, why is she like sort of not really embracing this character? As this is your daughter who's been missing for 4 years. You should be like absolutely over the moon to meet this person after these. And because it all was a bit off, you're thinking like, this is a bit weird. And watching the film was like, why is this just? What is going on? This is just such a strange reaction to like your daughter being missing for 4 years. And obviously, it gets revealed as the film goes on. But I mean, at the time, I was thinking this is just like fucking weird. But obviously, fair play. They've put it in place. Obviously, where that is why she reacted the way she did, because it's not even her daughter, and she knows damn well it's not her daughter. But even the father, Alan, even his reaction to like his missing daughter after 4 years, it's just a little bit odd. It doesn't really sort of his reaction should be genuine, because he genuinely believes that this is his daughter come back, almost from the dead. And he just kind of acts in this really, really weird way like that. Like, I can't imagine any father would act in that way whatsoever. It's just so strange. If my daughter went missing for 4 years and I saw her for the first time in 4 years, I would just be like, I wouldn't be reacting the way he did. It would just be like, I would be in bits, just like absolute tears, just unbelievably, just grabbing hold of it and just like clinging to it and just tearing up. But, it is what it is. Let's go back to the chat. That's my thoughts on Orphan. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was just a fucking fun movie. Brian's in the chat. What's up, Brian? Brian says, I'm hungover. I had too much of a good thing last night. I hear you, man. I hear you. Chris says, I'm Scots-Irish. Yes, Chris, you're definitely Scottish with that surname, Renfro. That's definitely a Scottish name. So I'm prone to alcoholism, antisocial, and can't grow a good beard. Anthony says, not seeing, I like the first Orphan. It's a film that like sort of passed. It didn't pass you. I saw it when it first came out. So when I say it passed me by, it didn't pass me by. But I saw it so long ago, like probably not long after it first came out, that I just don't remember a thing about it. So I needed to watch this film almost like just to get like some sort of like remembrance of the film. I'm gonna have to watch it again, especially after watching this film. Big T says we need more from the series a lot quicker than we got. I binge watched both movies back to back. Haven't seen this one since 2009. Yeah, I'm actually going to make a point about that, Big T, in a minute. About this film. It's because how this kid had it since she was 25. It's weird how they've managed to do this. I'm not entirely sure how they've managed to do it. First for me getting the first orphan hot. Chris says, I watched the OG for some yesterday morning. First comment, like I'm watching it too soon. Watching it that soon. James in the chat. What's up, Jamie? Yeah, Jamie's Scottish as well. Jamie's Scottish. My friend came from Lochleven in 1919. Okay, the new Jamie. Scottish. That's my best impression of a Scottish accent. So it is. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. So moving on, yeah, very, very quickly. The director of Orphan First Kill directed The Boy, and The Boy 2, Brahms. I fucking love those films. I really, really enjoyed The Boy is such a fun, stupid movie that I really, really like it. It's like, oh my god, it's such a guilty pleasure. I mean, anybody who, if anybody who's like got any expectations from horror films, like I haven't, no expectations, no high standards, and you just want to go in and be entertained by a film and not really question the logics of the film. Just something like The Boy, I just really, really enjoy. It's such a dumb, stupid film that I really, really like. And even the Boy 2, Brahms, who the guy who directed Orphan First Kill, sorry, he directed that as well. And it's just such a dumb, stupid film, but it's so much fun. It's just like, yeah, I just want a fun film. I like thought provoking films. I like thought provoking horror films, but occasionally I just want a Big Mac, or I want to just a double cheeseburger. So just give me some fucking piece of shit movie where it's just a fucking like boy who's not a boy, who's a grown man coming out of the walls, attacking people, and then a sequel where it's like it was a genuine killer doll, from what I remember. I could be wrong. Yeah, Anthony says the first Boy was good. The second, not so much. I like the second one, but I can't honestly remember. Was the second one just like the doll was just alive? I can't remember. I seem to remember the doll's head just turning and looking at the protagonist, which never made much sense to me. Lon says, William Penn Bell's previous film Separation is a great underrated gem. I'll make a note of that, Lon. I did make a note of his filmography after this film. I didn't pay too much attention, but I will make a note of that because, yeah, I mean, I do enjoy. I did enjoy this film for my sins, so I will make a note of that. Oh, Ben's a fan of Separation as well. Okay, so so enough talk of Orphan. I think we've covered that base enough. Okay, Saw. They've announced the sequel to Saw. Saw C, whatever the fuck. So okay, we're getting a sequel to Saw in 2023, October 27th, apparently. So just kick it in before Halloween. Obviously they're going for that, like that there's gonna be a absent spot going forward in 2023 because there's not gonna be no Halloween movie. So is Saw just gonna fill in for that, like that? I mean, my basic question is we're gonna get a Saw film in 2023. It looks like it's gonna be a cinema release. Whether cinemas are still alive at that point, I'll go on to in a future in about 20 minutes in another topic. But yeah, I mean, okay, so we know Halloween ends in October. So we're not getting any Halloween in 2023. So that just gives it's like an incentive for all these like sort of sub Halloween franchises to trying to make a killing in October 2023. And Saw looks like it's taking the bait and it's going to go with it's going to try and make a move and go with that. Um, I mean, I've not even seen Spiral, the Chris Rock sort of. I mean, is Spiral a remake, requel, sequel, prequel? What? How does Spiral sit in the Saw universe? How does it sit within the Tobin Bell universe? Because, like I say, I've seen the first three Saw films. I've not seen anything since then. I've got zero interest in the Saw franchise. I've got zero interest in Spiral. I've got zero interest in any Saw films going forward. Um, so I really don't know where this new Saw film sits. Is it gonna? I mean, Tobin Bell is dead in the Saw franchise after like four, is it or three? He died after four, right? Or was it three? I can't even remember. So you've got this new movie coming out, which is, from what I know, Tobin Bell is in the film. So is it some sort of like weird prequel, or is it like? Oh my god! I'm so confused with Saw. It just I don't know. Saw to me is just like I get why people like the franchise, but it's not for me. I mean, I mean, okay. So Lauren says Spiral is a silent series after the others. Okay. So Tobin Bell, it must be obviously he's obviously dead in Spiral. The new film is the new film a sequel or a prequel? I'm not entirely sure. Um, Christmas League sequels are good, especially for binging. I mean, how many? Is there seven films, not including Spiral? I can't watch. That's part. That's yeah. That's Saw two, right, Bunny? Yeah, I watched Saw. That's the one with Donnie Wahlberg. Yeah, I watched the first three films. Yeah, the Needle Pit in two. I think it's two. If I'm wrong, and it's three, correct me, but I'm sure it's two. Yeah, that's brutal, man. That Needle Pit scene. Fucking hell, man. Oh my god. That's more brutal to me than any fucking decapitation or like, people getting fucking arms chopped off. Jumping into like a bunch of needles. Oof, God. No, 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 no. Don't want to be doing that shit. Um Anthony says, think they were hoping for more Spiral films, but I think they've scrapped the idea. I know Lorne loves Saw 2. Best of the series easily. I mean, I do like Saw 2. It was Saw 3, which kind of like just left me cold. I was after Saw 3, I was like, no, I'm kind of like done with this now. I'm not really interested. Um, um, Bunny says, yeah, I can watch gore, but the needle thing messes me up. It's funny, isn't it? It's like extreme gore doesn't really bother me. I can see heads getting decapitated all day long, but it's little things in a way. It's like if anybody's seen the Cronenberg film Rabid, there's a scene where somebody gets the finger chopped off with a pair of scissors. Now that fucks me up. I can't take that shit. A chainsaw to a throat, getting a head chopped off, is to me is just like perfectly normal. I can take it's I that to me that is not a big deal. But if someone gets a pair of scissors and chops someone's finger off, that's really bad. That I can't take that. That to me is just like, oh my god, that's just so painful looking because it's something that's real in a way. I mean, okay, obviously being decapitated with a chainsaw is real. Being decapitated with a sword, anything is real. But it's kind of like out there, like where I'm not expecting to see it. Where it's like anybody could have the finger chopped off with a pair of scissors. It's just one of those little things that it could happen to anyone. And oh my god, it's so fucking horrible, man. Oh, I'd hate it. I hate that scene. Um, Lord says, but hate completely biased, but I watched the screen of Master of the Devil, the new Richard Roundtree film, and it's totally what slasher fans want without all the franchise baggage. Baggage. Sorry, I've totally lost the plot there. Okay, so Master of the Devil. I'll make a note of that, Lawn. It sounds interesting. Chris says degloving does that for me. I hate it. The monkey. Who's the monkey? What's up, monkey? I think you're a new subscriber. Well, I think you might have been in the last stream. If you are, what's up, man? Sorry if I. Please no gender swap Santa Claus franchise. No offense. Tim Allison doesn't need. Yeah, I agree, man. Monkey, I agree. No gender swapping on anything, please. Like, I don't want a gender swapped Laurie in Halloween, and I don't want a gender swap Michael Myers. I just want like things to be as they are. Yeah, so I appreciate that, monkey. Big T says, I wish there'd be a certain moment in Hollywood history where we've come to the realization just leave some of these iconic franchises alone. Yeah, I do agree, Big T. At the same time, I kind of just want more Friday the 13th, and I want more Halloween. You know, I think we all do to a point. I mean, I just do. I know. I'm just a Friday the 13th whore. I'm a Halloween whore. And as bad as they get, just give me fucking more. Just inject that shit into my veins, man. Fucking hell. But make it fucking good shit. You know, inject heroin into my veins, not methadone. Fucking heroin, the good stuff. Not that I know what heroin's like, of course. I don't. This is starting to sound like a train spotting fucking live stream. How DJ says, how many Halloween films do we need? DJ, I will take as many as you've got, mate. Okay, I know it's not the common. I don't know. That's just me. I just want as many. I don't care how bad they get. No, that's not right. That's I'm being okay. I want good shit when it comes to Halloween and Friday the 13th. I don't want bad shit, but I just want some shit. You know, I just need something. Just give me something. Because even if it's shit, at least it's still there in the public consciousness. I don't want this franchise to be forgotten about. You know, I want it to stay relevant, just so if at least it stays in the public consciousness, someone's going to come along and go, "Fucking hell, that was good. That franchise was some good shit, wasn't it? Let's just reboot it and let's do something else with it." So that's all. That's all I ask is it just stays relevant, even if you don't make anything new. Just keep it relevant, however you do that. Chris says he does say I can't fucking highlight the fucking thing. It's not. Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, YouTube's been a little bitch again. We need new stuff, not attempts to recapture old stuff vibes. I mean I agree, but at the same time, it's gonna be if you're talking about new stuff referring to Friday the 13th, yeah, we need new stuff. I would like to see though a Friday the 13th franchise reverting back to the 80s and just going back to 1980 and just going back to year one and just doing that. I'd be happy with that. I really would. The monkey says, does anybody want more Friday the 13th? I feel the world now would want a new 13 of them. Oh, so yeah, you're basically saying, yeah, you're kind of like on level with me. You want you would take 13 new movies. I mean, I would go back to 1980 and I would just not remake them or reboot them. I would just go back to 1980 and just start again and just do some new stuff in the 80s because I don't want mobile phones, cell phones. I don't want any modern technology. I just want to go back and I just want to see a guy in a mask tearing the hell out of people with just like sexy girls, jocks, douchebags, nerds, clever lads, final girls. That's all I want. Just take me back to that time. And you know what? It do fucking good money as well. That shit would do good money. This is what people want. People want this old school feel to movies. Look at Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick's done $1 billion. Why did Top Gun Maverick do $1 billion? Because it's going back to the old. It's going back to the 80s. It's no nonsense storytelling, no agenda, old school storytelling with real special effects, no CGI shit. And what do? They make $1 billion. Okay, Tom Cruise helps. It does help having Tom Cruise on board, but take me back to the 80s with a Friday the 13th movie. Just telling a story with good-looking women, good-looking lads, guys, whatever. And a fucking guy in a mask just fucking offing people, just going on a tear up. Give me that. Don't give me they them. I don't fucking want they them. That was shite. And it's gonna fucking bomb. It's not rocket science. People want what they want. People want no nonsense storytelling, no nonsense special effects, and no nonsense action and no nonsense horror. And that sort of shit will get you fucking, views. People will flock to see that shit, whether it's at a cinema or it's streaming. So why do I need to tell you that as somebody with like a YouTube channel with 95 subscribers, Hollywood? Because it's pretty fucking clear that that's all you need to do. But you don't listen to people like me. You'll just fucking keep on ignoring the average person on the street and just listen to some fucking dickhead on YouTube. Well, I say YouTube. I'm on YouTube. You'll listen to some like focus group or some shit and follow their example and have a big fucking bomb on your hands. So it is what it is, I don't know where it's going to go. The future of horror. Let's go back to the chat. Jamie says, I'm tired of reboots, remix franchises. As am I, Jamie. But I would still want to see more Friday the 13th movies. So I can't really say as I've just said. Bunny says, I want someone to reboot Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat, yeah. Trick or Treat is the one everybody wants a sequel to, or a prequel, or anything, and it's just not happening, is it? I don't know. I think Trick or Treat is an example of a film that is just beloved by the fan base, but they don't see the fan base. The people in charge, they don't see the fan base. It's like it's kind of like if you can imagine like a line, like that going across. They're looking up here for like what they want to appeal to, and like the Trick or Treat fan base, people like us who like want to see, we're kind of like just like that. They're just like they're not like seeing that sort of demographic in any way. So you'll probably never see a Trick or Treat sequel or a prequel. And you know what? Maybe it's for the best, because do you really want them to destroy it with 2020s ideology and fucking preaching and all that nonsense? No, keep it as it was and just make it a special thing, a one-off, Chris says, like a sequel to Hellfest Haunt. Oh my god, yeah, Jesus Christ, Chris. Again, but like what I just said, fucking something like that, I'd be way more excited than a new Friday the 13th. Like I love Hellfest. I love Haunt. Two of the best. I mean, in terms of like Halloween now, like going forward, like with Halloween night, in terms of like what you want to watch before the 2010s, a Halloween night watch along for me would have been something like Halloween 1, Halloween 2. That probably be, because obviously, how many films can you watch on Halloween night without, just falling asleep? It would have been like Halloween 1, Halloween 2, maybe, maybe Halloween 3 or 4. But since the 2010s, for me, Halloween night now, it's like you've got to throw Halloween on. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. But fucking hell, man, it's like Hellfest LLC is just Hellfest. I'm getting my fucking films mixed up. Hell House LLC, Hellfest, and Haunt. That's a triple bill. That is a triple bill. That is just you can't go wrong with that. I mean, Hellfest is just like, honestly, if Lauren's still in the chat, Hellfest is just a fucking stone cold classic Halloween movie. Haunt is just a fucking straight up great movie as well. Not quite at that level, but it's damn close. And in terms of like found footage, like Hell House LLC is just, I think it's just a Shudder exclusive. It's not even like I think it's just a Shudder movie. But it's just so damn good. The Hell House LLC, man. The scenes in that film, which are just so fucking creepy. Just walking into the cellar, and you got the clown guy just sat there. Oh man, that is fucking freaky as hell, man. It's so fucking spooky. I mean, it takes a lot to fucking freak me out in terms of like modern movies. But that scene where they just go down the stairs and he's just sat there. It's like, what? Oh, fucking hell, man. This is freaky as shit. Way creepier than Terrifier. Fucking hell. Fuck that shit. Terrifier. Fuck off. Yeah, sequel's coming out. Trailer drops tomorrow. No, fuck off, Terrifier. Fuck off, Art the Clown. No, I'm not buying your shit, man. If you like Art the Clown, or more power to you. It's just not for me. I just don't find that particularly. It's just not my scene. Going back to the chat, and he says, "Would like to see some new Lincoln in Halloween 3." You fucking hell, man. Yeah, so would I. It feels like there's been a big push in the last few years for Halloween 3 to gain more recognition in the community. I think a lot of us are just kind of like constantly pushing for this film to gain more recognition, and we're all hoping that like at some point something's going to happen with that film. We're just going to get something, whether it's some sort of like even just some like acknowledgements in a future movie, a proper acknowledgement in a way, where they could move forward with it. But I'd love to see some sort of future movie based on Halloween 3. I would love to see that. Chris says, like a sequel to Hellfest Haunt. I think I've read that one. Lorne says, everyone knows I wasn't the first mention Hellfest. Who was then, Lorne? Because don't put yourself down. Because Lorne, I think I got onto Hellfest through you. I'm pretty sure I watched Hellfest through your recommendation. So don't put yourself down, man. If you were like one of the people who put that film on the map, own it. Because I jumped on that film, I think, based on your recommendation. And yeah, it's a fucking great movie. It really is. It's a superb film. DJ says, do remake of Halloween 3. Go in direction. Absolutely, DJ. I would stop in a heartbeat. James says, I want more Hellfest. I do as well, but it's kind of finishes off in a really good way. I don't really want to know any more about the killer because, obviously the ending is kind of like that. You've got this guy who's like a stone cold killer who's just like offing people at like an amusement park, and then he goes home and he's just like, spoiler alert, he's just a family guy and just hugging his kids. But I like that. I don't really want to know who the guy was. I just like to think it was just some random psycho, Lauren says, unfortunately, we aren't getting any more Hellfest. Chris, that's Chris says why we go with the orphan. Yeah, that's a good point, Chris. Actually, maybe in 2030 we'll get a Hellfest sequel. The monkey says yes. They only showed one day at that camp. They could make more into the series by showing more days in the camp in the 80s till now. James says, "Oh, that strikes so much potential. Stinks so much potential. Give us masks, machetes, and melons. I'll take that any day." The 3Ms. King Gore. Hello, King Gore. What's up, man? New subscriber, I am assuming, unlike you've not been in the chat before. But King Gore, welcome to the chat, man. King Gore also says, yeah, a newer Trick or Treat wouldn't hit the same. Wish they got one out to us sooner. Yeah, it's been 15 years now, man. 15 years, 2007, I think, for Trick or Treat. That's a long time, man. Long time. I mean, it's not beyond the realms of possibility for a new Trick or Treat film, but you know, that as each year goes on, that film becomes more and more of a cult film and becomes more and more special. So maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. You know, maybe it's better just leave the past alone. Anthony says for Trick or Treat not hitting the cinema, become as big as it has, is pretty amazing. Yeah, I mean, I think Trick or Treat is a film that like most people didn't even know about for the first few years. I didn't like. I'd be curious to know about like when people became aware of Trick or Treat, because I think I became aware of that film like probably about like 6-7 years after release. It's a long time after release, because at the time I wasn't really. I was on YouTube at the time, and I was following, probably Piz was the only horror YouTuber I was following at the time. I was following at that time, just like late 2010s, late 2000s, early 2010s. Most of the YouTube channels I was following weren't horror movie related. It was kind of Piz and then as an extension, Sausage Factory. That kind of like, I was always into horror movies, but I never really knew about horror movie YouTubers at that point. So I kind of lost track with like what was new, what was happening, what was big, what was like coming out. So I was completely just out the loop really when it came to like horror films. So when I caught up with Piz's channel, he just introduced me to a lot of new stuff, or not even new stuff, like stuff that older stuff which I'd not even caught on to. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Trick or Treat was a film that I think did escape my attention for like 5 years maybe. But when I did see it, man, I was blown away. I was like, holy shit, how has this film like escaped my attention for like so long? Because it just ticked all the boxes of a Halloween movie, just the cinematography just was so on point. Just an iconic sort of like scary to a point, but not too scary. So it kind of like appealed to everyone. Sort of like bad guy or bad kid, so to speak. Just like hot girls, just everything to appeal to someone of like my age at that time and now as well. Let's be honest. I've not changed that much in 10, 15 years. But yeah, I mean, Trick or Treat, man. I honestly do believe that is a film that is probably best staying as just a one-off. Really do. As much as I'd like to see a sequel, at the same time, I would as much not like to see a sequel and just live on the memories of that film. So, yeah. Let's see. Lorne says, my Halloween triple feature, Hellfest, Ghost Watching, Host. Right, I am going to watch Haunting of Julia. It's on Daily Motion, also known as Full Circle, as Lorne knows full well. I am going to watch that movie, but I am waiting until October to watch that film, Lorne. I'm going to watch that movie in October, late at night, lights all off, in the dark, and I'm going to see what all the fuss is about, because I know it's on Daily. I did research it. I know it's on Daily Motion, and it's a pretty difficult film to get hold of, like online. So I might not be doing its full justice by watching it on Daily Motion on like just on like on an enlarged TV screen, but hopefully maybe that makes it even more creepy just watching it on like Daily Motion, just on like some normal TV. Maybe that would give it more of a sense of edge to it. Um, but in terms of your triple feature, Lawn, yeah, Ghostwatch, obviously, Ghostwatch. I am up in the process of, well, not in the process. I will be in the process of releasing a video about Ghostwatch in the next week or so. Just my memories of Ghostwatch, rather than a live stream, just like an actual upload and just talking about Ghostwatch as an event, which I've done before, like on a couple of streams, but I'd rather just put it out there as an actual, recorded um, upload. Just talk about that film. Film, mockumentary, documentary, TV movie, whatever you want to call Ghostwatch. Absolute classic. Anybody in the chat who's not seen Ghostwatch, please go and watch Ghostwatch. It's just so good, man. So good. Go and watch Piz's review of it as well. Piz's review of Ghostwatch is so fucking good, man. It's like Piz is he's just so blown away by how good it is. I've watched his review about like 15, 16 times because I distinctly remember like when he was first introduced to that film, and it was from Lorne. Lorne introduced him to it. Lorne put it out there on a Sausage Factory live stream. Lorne recommended it, in terms of like, must. I think it might have been must watch Halloween movies. And Lorne recommended it, and I remember Piers like sort of taking notes and going, "Oh, that sounds interesting. I'll make a note of that." And then like a month later, Piers is just making a review, gushing over the film and like how amazing it is. It's just so good to watch, man. Because I just like when I watched that Sausage Factory and like Lawrence talking about the film. And I think B Movie Mike as well. B Movie Mike was like had seen it and he was like saying good choice, because he knew that was good shit. So watching them two talking about it and like watching Piz kind of like just react and think, oh, this sounds like a good movie to watch, and then just obviously just the fallout and just him reacting to that movie and just doing the review. It's just good, like because I just like watched that film, TV film, whatever you want to call it. As I say, watching it live in '92, man. Oh my god. I shouldn't really go into it. I've done this. I feel like I can repeat myself because every time I get onto Ghostwatch, I always repeat the same story about watching it live on Halloween night, 1982. But yeah, it is a repeatable story. It is one of those. It's like you go into it as a 16-year-old kid, not knowing what the hell's going on, thinking, is this real? Is this not real? This seems real. It's Michael Parkinson, who's like one of our most well-respected TV presenters, is presenting a show about a paranormal investigation into a haunted house in Enfield in London, which is based on the Enfield poltergeist, which is like based on the Conjuring 2 is basically based on this haunting. It's been done numerous times. It's a well-known case from the late 70s, I think, or early 80s, from a house in North London. They took that case and they ran with it with Ghostwatch, and it's just the setup, the way they played it out. Looking back now, yeah, I mean, the doctor who plays off Michael Parkinson, in the studio, she's clearly an actor. Now, looking back now, it's clearly she's acting, but a 16-year-old kid at the time, and probably anybody else watching, would not have got onto that little fact. So you kind of just get totally sucked in. You throw in, like genuine TV presenters, Sarah Green, who's a children's TV presenter, Mike Smith, who's a real life husband, and just put Craig Charles in for comedic measure, who was like star of Red Dwarf, the BBC sitcom. And you just think, well, this just seems like a legit sort of investigation where not much is going to happen. Okay, this is long before. If anybody's seen Most Haunted, which is like a UK TV show, but I know America did do a similar thing where they probably called it the US's Most Haunted, where they just send the camera crew into a haunted house and like record stuff and nothing happens. This is kind of like a precursor to that. But obviously at the time we were completely oblivious to all this stuff. So it's like a completely new experience to us. So we're going in Halloween night, 1992, and just thinking, what the hell? Is this real? Is this not real? You know, we're looking at the TV guide. The TV guide says 8 p.m., 9 p.m. I can't remember the exact time. 9 p.m. BBC. Michael Parkinson leads an investigation into a supposed haunted house in North London, and that's probably pretty much all it says. It certainly doesn't say it's a fucking a mockumentary spoof video. It doesn't say shit like that. So you're kind of like going into it with no internet, thinking, well, so this is just genuine and this is real. So half an hour in, 45 minutes in, shit's starting to get a bit crazy. It's at this point that like my 16-year-old self is kind of starting to think, I'm not quite entirely sure that this is real. And my mum and dad are obviously late 40s, early 50s at this point. And I think they've kind of cottoned onto the fact that this must be fake. Although I'm surprised they got onto it before I did. But yeah, so by the point of like the hour mark, I think we're kind of like aware that this is not quite what we think it is. But then I seem to remember, just after that point, I kind of started to question, like, well, maybe it is real. And I kind of like went beyond the point of thinking it's not real to thinking, oh shit, is it real? It's just like this weird sort of like, I don't know. It's just like I don't know quite know what was going on. But once we got past the hour and a half mark, Michael Parkinson started talking like a poltergeist, and things started falling from the ceiling. Clearly this was just something that was just like completely set up. At that point, we'd all been had. Cats are talking, Michael Parkinson's talking like a poltergeist. Yeah, I mean, we got had big time, but for the hour, like the 60 minutes that for at a time where like maybe 13, 14 million people genuinely thought it was real. That's powerful TV. 14 million people, 15 million people. I'm not sure how many people were watching, but 1992, very few TV stations in the UK, no internet. The power that had on the general population, and the impact and the fallout. Oh my god, man, that it's enormous. You can't even quantify just the impact that had. I mean, it's just insane. It really is. God, I mean, it was such a. I mean, I always go on about it. I mean, I've just done like literally a live stream with Chris about 1993, about reminiscing about old school social, not social media, old school, films and video games and shit. It was a great time to be alive. It really was. And it's hard for people who didn't grow up in that time to like sort of really appreciate it in the same way that I can't appreciate what it was like to grow up in the 60s. My mum and dad, my dad's Welsh, but he moved to Liverpool when he was like 16, 17. My mum's from Liverpool. So they went to see the Beatles in the Cavern Club in like 1962 or 61, whenever it was, before they became famous. They went to see them like, a few times. So they saw the Beatles live before they were even famous. And I'm pretty sure they probably said the 60s growing up was a fucking great time to be alive. But I can't appreciate what it was like growing up in the 60s. I can only imagine it was fucking amazing. In terms of like someone growing up now can only look at videos of the 80s, being a kid and saying, oh, it's fucking amazing. I do struggle to imagine saying the same thing about the 2010s and the 2020s. And that's just called becoming old. But the older you get and you look at the 2010s and you look at the way the 2020s are, Holy shit! I just can't imagine anyone's ever going to call this a great time to grow up because it's just shit. Really, really, really shit. Really, it's bad, isn't it? It's just bad. What have we got? What if the next generation got growing up? Oh, we're going to go in the metaverse with Mark Zuckerberg. Oh, that's fucking fantastic. That sounds really exciting. Going into the metaverse with some fucking geek prick. Fucking hell. Why not just stay in the real world? You know what? I'm gonna call it a quits. It's 1:15, so I'm gonna call it quits now. 12 people watching. Great audience tonight. Thanks for everyone who jumped on. I'm gonna go. I'm probably gonna go live tomorrow as well because I only covered like some of the shit I wanted to cover, and I'm just really fucking enjoying it, man. It won't be up here. It'll be downstairs again with like shittier quality video. Well, not video, but it's just not as good, is it? The audio's not quite as good downstairs. But before I go, I'm just gonna just catch up with the chat. No idea where I'm up to now. Fucking hell, man. Where am I up to now? The needle pit is 2. So I think I'm. Yeah. Oh shit! I fucking erased the chat now. What the fuck's going on? There it is. Oh my god, I'm all over the place now. Where am? Oh my god. I'm trying to remember where I was up to. Okay, I think I'm more or less caught up. Chris says Terrifier is great. Lorne says, "Oh yeah, I've done that. Yeah, I've covered that one by Lorne." Anthony says, "I thought A Christmas Horror was pretty good. Not the same level as Trick or Treat, but it was a decent horror anthology." Sean says, "Good evening. What's up, Sean? Sorry, I didn't acknowledge it early on, but I was just on a rant." Chris says, "Man, it's a ritualistic annual watch of Halloween 3, Trick or Treat, WNUF, and Tales of Halloween." Lorne says, "Halloween 3, I'm just watching it. Watch the credits end all the way through." I don't think I ever have. So is that something to keep out my eye out for? I think Lorne knows something that I don't, certainly. Sean says, "Hey, Bonnie." Anthony says, Ghostwatch is amazing, Lorne. Yeah, Lorne loves Ghostwatch. Anthony says, "I always watched The Houses October Built." I love that film. I love Houses October Built. Night of the Demons 2000. I've never seen 2009 House of the Demon. Night of the Demon, sorry. I've never watched that film. That needs to be rectified. Ben Grimm says, "King Gore." Sean says, "I'm a new subscriber." No, you're not, Sean, you liar. James says, "Sean Hart." Sean says, "I think love of Hellfest is like my love of St. Maud, lol." I remember hearing about Ben says, "I remember hearing about Trick or Treat and being excited when it first came out. Bought it first day of release from a Hastings." Yeah, it's Trick or Treat's just fucking legendary Halloween movie. Jamie says, "My Halloween night staples are Trick or Treat, House Fans Clubs, and Halloween." But which one, Jamie? The Rob Zombie Halloween or Carpenter's? I think I know the answer to that one. King Gore says, "Been a big fan of Trick since it came out. Really expected the franchise to take off. Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't. But as I say, maybe that's for the best. You know, do we want to see Trick or Treat destroyed by just modern movies?" The Monkey says, "We could have Friday the 13th taking place during the spring or winter. The camp looked well maintained as far as weather damage. So I want to see what happens in between the Friday the 13th each year." Sean says, "My Halloween movie night is The Thing, The Exorcist, or Dawn of the Dead." Oh, and The Dawn of the Dead. So it's a triple bill. Anthony says, "Little kid in the costume shop spying on the girls getting dressed, also plays Sam." Oh, right, okay. Chris says, "I wouldn't mind the second one if Doherty has a good one in him. I don't want them to force it, just get a sequel." James says, I think I saw Trick or Treat on Showtime on HBO back in 2008. Anthony says, thought Doherty did a good job with Krampus. Krampus is a fucking amazing film. Krampus is one of the most underrated films of the 2010s. It's fucking so good. Lawrence says, Haunting of Julia is in a permanent rights dispute, so who knows who will ever get a proper release based on Peter Straub's masterful novel. Pipes of Ale in the cubby on the stairs. Wow, yeah, that's fucking, yeah. That is like next level fucking chills, man. That is such a, it's the build up, you know, it's the build up, and it's a build up to it. The thing about Pipes of Ale, it's like when you watch it the first night, like I did, it's a build up to a character you never even knew was, well, you knew they reference him in the film, or like I was called just in the TV show because that's how I saw it. But it's like they reference him, and it's kind of like it's a reveal to someone who never you knew was there, because there's all these YouTube videos of, like, like looking back and like appearances of Pipes, but when you watch it live just that night, you don't see any of that stuff. You just don't see. I mean, you don't see any of that because it's a blink and you'll miss it stuff. It's a blink and you'll miss it. So yeah, I mean that was just fucking hell, man. That was just like so good, man. So good. Anthony says, Ghostwatch had me totally believe it was real. Watching it live on PTA, yeah, good to see you watch it live, Anthony. I'm glad to see like I wasn't the only one. There's a lot of people out there, but I'm not sure how many people in our sphere, so to speak, will have that experience of watching it live. But yeah, memorable times watching that. Fucking hell, man. King Gore, see you around. King Gore, thanks for jumping on, man. Good to see you in chat. Nice to see a new face in the chat, man. Yeah, jump on anytime, man. Anytime I'm streaming, the same people are always in the chat. Make you feel really welcome. It's always good times to be had. Dead friendly community. Chris says, great stream, Mike. Have a good one, everybody. You see, Chris. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to wrap things up now, guys. I may jump on tomorrow night. It's not guaranteed. If I do jump on, it's going to be a late notification. Nobody loves Inland Empire, Lorne. Nobody loves Inland Empire. So yeah, this has been a really fun stream, man. I mean, yeah, more drunk streams because I feel really relaxed for this one. So more drunk streams in the future because it's gone really well. Yeah, so everyone who jumped on board, thank you very much. Thank you. Everyone who subscribed, new subscribers. I will say, horror YouTube of the month. Vote for me. Don't vote for anybody else. It's quite terrifying that I'm gonna have to, like, if I do win, which is looking quite likely at this point, I will say, not being big-headed, but I'm gonna have to get new people to vote for, after that, and oh shit, responsibilities. Oh shit, man. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for jumping on board. I will see you, if not tomorrow, which is a possibility. I will see you next Tuesday or Monday. Peace out. Bye.